guys. Welcome to the Mrs. Soto show. I'm very excited because this is my first episode in English. And you have no idea how nervous I am. If you follow me on Twitter, you know who I am. If you don't, well, let me introduce myself. You can find me on Twitter as at Dayanar29, or you can spell it like Dayyanar 29. You can also find me on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube as the Mrs. Soto Show. My name is Diana Soto, and I'm from Venezuela. And I'm going to make a disclaimer before I let you know about myself. English is not my first language, okay? You will probably hear mispronunciations. I will probably mispronunciate words. You will probably hear some grammar issues. And I just want you to be patient with me because I'm just trying to get out of my comfort zone. It's not easy to speak in another language. So I'm going to do my best. So my name is Diana Soto. I'm from Venezuela. I moved to the United States 11 years ago. And for as long as I remember, my dream was to become an U.S. citizen. I have never felt part of the Venezuelan culture. I don't know why. I probably think that because growing up in Caracas, it wasn't a very positive experience for me. Also, I have family in the United States. So it was very easy to get familiar with the country and the culture and the whole, meritocracy. Not to mention all the reference that you have, from Hollywood. And I'm talking about at that time, like in the 80s and 70s, that they used to picture America in a very positive way. And then on top of that, what this country is famous is about the American dream, that you can achieve everything through hard work and meritocracy. When I finally had the opportunity to move to this country, I did it. And it was in 2010. I came to the United States with a student visa, and it was not easy. I had to wait 5 months to get an appointment at the American Embassy in Caracas. It was a lot of money between the embassy fees and the English course. It's not cheap, and home food, it was not cheap at all. Finally, on January 31st of 2010, I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada. That basically was the beginning of my American dream journey. I even didn't know how I ended up in Las Vegas, Nevada, to be honest. But it seems that was God's will. So I accepted. So what was my first experience with American culture? Honestly, I can't say that I have like 100% American experience, because when you go to an English school, you interact with a lot of people from other countries. And I remember that I was the only Venezuelan in my classroom. No one else spoke Spanish, which it helped me a lot to learn and have fluency on the language. And so I mostly interact with Asians, guys from Korea, Japan, and one or two Chinese. Also, a lot of Brazilians in the school. But basically, I can say that I experienced the American bureaucracy through the school. Okay, and that's part of the negative side of my experience in the United States academia, if you can call it like that. I have great teachers. And I want to make that clear. I had wonderful teachers, and that made my experience worth it, honestly. But unfortunately, I don't have the same opinion about the school and the system that they use. Okay, that's just me. Especially when you pay more than $10,000, honestly. The truth is that that school is not anymore here in Vegas. They left because there were too many complainings about. I guess many people didn't feel that they were getting what they were paying for. So that's what happens. The good thing about this school is that they have a deal. I don't know if you can call it like that, with a community college here in Vegas. And if you pass the level 13, which is the last level of the whole course, you can go straight to the community college. And you don't need to take these tests like the Michigan test or the TOEFL, which is these tests, they prove your level of English. You need to get a minimum score, and in the case of the community college in Las Vegas was 70, both for TOEFL and Michigan test, to go to this college. So if you approve your last level of the English course, you just go straight to the community college without taking this test. And that's what happens to me. I got accepted because I passed my last level, and that's how I started college in the United States. So how was my experience in college? If I can call it college, because I went to a community college. So honestly, I don't know if there are any difference, but this is my experience. I'm getting a little dramatic right now. But I'm going to tell you guys exactly how it was. So when you are a foreigner, you pay as twice or maybe three times more money than a regular resident or an American citizen. Okay, the excuse is that we don't pay taxes, so we have to pay more, which I call bullcrap, but that's the explanation that they tell you. To be honest, I don't mind to pay whatever is worth if you are giving me the quality that you're promising me. But in the case of this college, it was a very disappointed experience. First of all, I couldn't get an associate degree because it was too damn expensive. Okay, I had to take a certificate. It cost me approximately $12,000. I had to do this because immigration's laws says that once that you finish a college program or a college degree, you can apply for a work permission called OPT, Operational Training Program, which is basically a work permission for a year. So you get to work, you get a social security number, and if you are really good at your job, the company that hires you can sponsor you. So you get to stay without marrying anyone. And I really wanted to try it that way. I just wanted to go through the meritocracy process. But that didn't happen. Honestly, it is very difficult that a company sponsor you. I mean, you gotta be very, very special. And honestly, I didn't have any skills that could fit those requirements. So I get to meet my husband and I got married. And that's how I got my green card and then my U.S. citizenship. But this episode is specifically about my experience in college, in American college. I don't know if I can call it an American college because I went to a community college, but the point is that I kind of got to experience what is this whole craziness that is happening in campuses or in campuses. Okay, so the first thing that I experienced was all these meetings that they have in campus, and then you can have Planned Parenthood, and then all these communist organizations, and then people against smoking. Then you can have a few recruiters from the Army, Marines, and all that. I almost applied for the Marines, honestly, because that was when I was at the English school. I was so desperate that I didn't want to go back to Venezuela. And the guy told me that I couldn't be part of the Marines because I was not a legal resident. And I was like, damn, okay, well, next option. So basically, my classes, I had to take a certificate, okay, because it was really expensive, like I said before. I couldn't take an associate degree because it was a lot of money, and honestly, it wasn't worth it. I think it was a waste of money. And I had to take, you know, that when you go to college, they have all these subjects that you have to take. Most of them, I was very surprised that you guys have a lot of subjects that I had to take in high school in Venezuela, and then you have to retake them again here in college. That translated to me like you have to pay money for wasting your time. That's exactly what I thought. And I had to take two electives. I remember that I had to take, I choose theater and the making of the West, those two subjects. And on the making of the West, it is funny that this subject focus on Asia and the Middle East. We have to study the Quran, and there were a few things about, you know, romance and all that. But basically, it has anything to do with the West. Pretty confusing class. And then, on the other hand, on my theater class, it's not like I wanted to be an actor. I just wanted to be more self-confidence, okay? Because I have a hard time speaking in public. So I thought that that could be a good exercise for me. And I remember that the professor, the only thing that he was talking about was how awesome Obama was and how terrible Mitt Romney was. He wasn't wrong about that. This was in the year of 2012. I was like, I cannot believe that I'm paying $12,000 for this crap. But I look like, okay, Diana, this is the price that you need to pay for staying in this country. And I'm sorry, guys, to say it in that way, but that was the truth, okay? I wasn't getting what I pay for. Universities in this country are a scam. I was planning to get like a master's in fashion design because I went to school for fashion designing. So I visited the Art Institute here in Las Vegas, and you know, they give you a tour and then they show you how great the school was, because that school doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, the person who is trying to sell you the program, the fashion design program, and tells me the numbers, we're talking about $100,000 a year. And this is a major of 2 years. I'm like, I'm not paying $100,000 to have a piece of paper that says that I'm a fashion designer. I already have one. So, oh, but you don't understand. This is from an American college and you're going to have prestige. And I'm like, lady, that talk doesn't work with me. I'm not paying this money. I'm sorry. She was literally stalking me for like, I don't know, months. I have to block her number because obviously she's on sales. She's trying to sell the program, but I'm not dumb to pay $100,000 for having a piece of paper hanging on my wall that says that I'm a fashion designer. College in this country is just a money machine tied to the banking industry because many people do not have the money that all these tuition cost. Okay, so they need to request a loan to pay for this education. And then what happened is that you get a major that you cannot get a job. Like what happened to me, I never got a job as a fashion designer, never. It is impossible to work in the fashion industry as a regular person. They never pay you. They always tell you that, oh, it's going to be exposure and that they will rip you off, basically. And then you get frustrated when you wake up from that fake world of money, glamour, and your reality is people taking advantage from you. You need to take other jobs that you don't like, but they pay the bills. And you create this whole frustration feeling in your life that your ego and your dreams and then a bunch of things are all mixed up, and you feel like a failure because you cannot conquer your dreams. But what happened is that they sell you a lie. Okay. And then when you go to the real world where you need to get a job, then there are not jobs for things like that. So you have a debt of almost 100K, and you need to get another job to pay that debt because you just don't know how to make a living from women's studies or fashion design or whatever it is. In my case, well, I got lucky and I recognize that because believe me, it's not easy to get married for love in this country. Okay. And that's a fact. That's true. I was blessed by God. I got married. I got my green card, and I also got a good husband. It's not easy to do that. I kind of look the whole college experience like on a step to stay legally in this country. But I honestly, if I hadn't had to pay more than $20,000 in college education in this country, I wouldn't have done it because it's a waste of money. It's just pure indoctrination. Children or people do not learn anything in those places. And then when you graduate, you are just an expert on Marxism with a lot of caca in your head that it won't help you to make a living. And then, you're angry at the world and you are asking for loan student forgiveness because you don't know how to pay your debt. And they keep getting richer and richer and richer. So that was my story about my experience in America with college. I hope you like it. If you have any comment, I would love to hear about you guys. And all positive criticism is welcome. God bless you, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.